You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Jobs in.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Killer Women After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Killer Women After Show.
Hello, everyone out there. Welcome to the sexiest after show for the sexiest show with the sexiest hosts. My name is Oriana Leo, and we are talking about Killer Women tonight. Joining me to my left is Candice Buenrostro. Say hello.
Hello.
And of course, the beautiful Chloe Onyx.
Hi, guys.
And next week, we will be joined by my friend Sarah Huggins, but tonight she's absent, so we'll just say, hi, Sarah. Now, the pilot episode has already aired, and we all watched it individually. And tonight we will be discussing Season 1, Episode 2, titled Some Men Need Killing. But before we get there, let's talk about the pilot episode. What did you ladies think about it?
You want to go first?
The pilot episode, I think every pilot just always starts off a little slow and it gets a little bit better episode 2 and 3 as it goes on persisting.
So it wasn't too exciting for you?
Not so much.
Chloe?
Yeah, I wasn't that excited about it. I didn't know, like, it just seemed very, like, you know, like, I've seen it before.
Okay.
You know, you know.
Not too special.
Yeah, nothing
So
special.
one of the things we were discussing before is that Trisha Helfer, who, by the way, is famous for being in Battlestar Galactica, which I've never seen, but I'm sure it does have quite a following. She is the star of our show playing Molly Parker. Now, a lot of us here on the panel, and I'm sure you as well out there, it was a little bit confusing that they used Sofia Vergara as an advertising point because she is an executive producer on the show.
Exactly. And I was very confused on who was the leading lady and what Sophia's role would be. And it was a good marketing strategy.
Sure was.
Because it got me, like, very interested, like, ooh. But, you know, I don't think they should have used her in that light because it's misleading to a degree. So, you know.
Candice, what do you think?
I would like her to make a guest appearance on the show. I think that would be great for ratings. Everyone's expecting her to come out.
I totally agree with you. I hope she makes an appearance. I also was a little bit disappointed with the pilot. It didn't grab me. It seemed like it had been done before. It seemed a little cheesy and campy, but not enough to really grab me. And just to give everyone a little bit of background, Killer Women is adapted from an Argentinian telenovela entitled Mujeres Asesinas. Is that right? Asesinas, that's right. So, yeah, assassin women. And it's only an 8-episode order, which I don't really know what that means for ABC. 8 episodes is something that, like, HBO does.
Yeah, like, normally primetime channels would do 12 at least
12.
and 24 on average, you know, especially for their...
For a regular episodic, it's going to be 24. And for a special drama like this, it would usually be 12. So I'm not exactly sure why there's 8. But that means we only have 6 more after shows to do. So
I know, that's kind of sad.
We better get cracking, right?
Yeah.
So I do have some news and gossip for later in the show, just pointing the fans into the direction of some really awesome articles that have been written if you would like to get more information. So jumping into this show, which is our episode 2, Some Men Need Killing, we've got our main characters of Molly Parker and, of course, her love interest, Dan Winston. What do we think of him, the DEA agent?
I think he's hot. Sexy.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, I like his character. He's kind of has his own thing going on, like her, and it's like a good compliment. Like, I see him with her, you know? I mean, of course he's with her, but he's not her husband, but it's like a very good mix. Like, you know, you never know. One day he's on a plane, the next day he's blowing up something, the next day he's like, I'm waiting for this, you know, how many pounds of coke to fall out the sky. So I like that about his character. It's very edgy. And it's
strong.
Yeah. And
strong for her.
Exactly. And it just complements her line of work as well.
So did you guys notice sex scene, first scene of the show? Whoop, whoop.
I know.
In the shower.
I mean, they want something to draw the audience.
Drew me in.
Yeah.
Right.
Drew me in, too.
And it kind of showed, like, what I love about this show, and especially this episode, totally redeeming. Fans, what do you think? I mean, I thought this episode redeemed itself from the pilot.
Yeah, it was very
100%.
different. Actually, it's so funny because I thought the name of this episode should have been Killer Women because I felt like there were so many killers. Like, you know, like it was just like so much action. You got action in the pilot, but it was just very like one line, you know, like this one woman and, you know, she goes to jail and you're following her. It was like this woman killed her husband. That woman killed her husband. This woman spearheaded all the killings. So it was just very like enticing and, you know, we had a whole bunch of killer women.
Yeah, it was a great storyline, I think.
Yeah.
So I love that we have the sex scene first, and I love that because it shows Molly in a different light than essentially the pilot episode. Instead of her just coming off as being this strong, dedicated, you know, ranger, she's sexy, she's vulnerable. She turns her back to him.
I know.
Like, woo.
And then she's like, oh, we're late.
So they're late and they go to this event. Now, do you guys know what kind of event it was?
I think it was a charity event or something to do. Well, her ex-husband was there also, so
Black
maybe.
tie, maybe.
Some kind of black tie event.
Yeah.
She brings her hot date, and they're getting into it. They're dancing, and then all of a sudden we hear screaming, and there is an incident in which.
Oh wait, but she sees the husband first and has to introduce.
Oh yeah,
the boyfriend.
Thank you.
And that's so awkward because you know what I immediately thought, like, for real, when they close up on the knife, I thought like, oh shit, the husband's gonna like come
That's what
up
I thought, too.
and like ram the boyfriend. Like,
Really?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
I didn't. No.
Because it's like the way they showed it was like Molly and Dan, like, you know, having a good time.
Yes.
But then they show the husband. What's the husband's name?
Jake.
Jake. So then they show Jake, and then they show the knife, like the person walking through with the knife, and then they'll show Jake's like face, like, and so I'm like, is he gonna like
Right.
stab this guy?
Yeah.
And then, you know, they make it peaceful when they walk up to him, and then the stabbing happens. But originally, I thought Jake was gonna like cut some ass, like literally, like just cut up Dan because he looked like the jealous husband.
Right, which he is, I think.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And what was up when they did the pull away? There was like 50 million waiters.
So I thought that was a really cool kind of wide shot.
Yeah.
That it made it look like this choreography, if you will, of what it was illustrating, I think, was just how hard it was going to be to find that waiter. There were waiters everywhere.
Exactly.
And they're all holding their platters just as they're supposed to be.
And then I thought setup. Because if you notice, they're all in the middle, like, we can't get out. I'm like, ooh, setup.
Yep. Somebody knew that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was definitely well set up. So then we cut to Mrs. Reed, who has just had plastic surgery. And of course, we assume her name is Nan. Go on a first name basis now. Nan. Of course, we're assuming that she just got plastic surgery. Like, she got herself enhanced, is what we're assuming. And I made the comment that she didn't seem like very upset.
That her husband died?
Yeah.
She was like, oh.
How did he die?
Oh.
You want to say, like, did they find the body? They did? Shit. You know, like that kind of thing. Like, which is very, like, you know, like, okay.
She was more concerned about her boobs.
Yeah, I thought, I mean, it seemed like you would at least want to pretend to be more distraught. There was no tears, right?
Yeah.
But Molly doesn't really pick up on that. And she's supposed to be the one with the woman's intuition, you know, and she's the ranger. She didn't even pick up on it.
Yeah, I feel like in the beginning she's trying to do that whole, like, I don't want to say this, but I trust my gut thing, like, you know, like, let me feel out the person and see what they have to say.
Which I think is kind of annoying.
Yeah. Do you?
I think it is kind of annoying because you have this woman, this strong woman, but her whole her whole identity in the Rangers is I'm gonna feel it out.
Yeah.
Like, come on, we do need some evidence.
But you know, they make her character such like badass / vulnerable. And it's like, it depends on the moment. Like, honestly, it's like catch me if you can. Like, today, I'm like, you know, kicking ass. And then tomorrow, I'm telling this lady that I was abused too. Like, you know, like, it's like, I feel like domestic violence is a huge
topic.
Yeah.
Huge storyline.
Huge storyline. Like,
so, Candice, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
We were talking about telenovelas earlier. And for the audience, for the fans out there, if you're not aware of what a telenovela is, let us explain.
A telenovela, it's a dramedy, but it's all in Spanish market, and it's just very over-exaggerated, and you could kind of make fun of it. It's kind of like, ay Dios mío, no, but yes, come here, no, yes, slap. So I think essentially for the Killer Woman, we thought it was going to be a little bit more so of that comedy.
And I think this episode, we got more of it.
Yeah.
We got some of those lines that are coming up, but we got some of those lines that were just, we were laughing.
dying.
We were laughing in there really hard. And it's fun to see a show with so many great female characters, with great female-driven storylines, and that they are they're not taking it too seriously.
But can we talk about the Girl Scout cookies?
Yeah.
Can we please?
Okay, absolutely. So they go through the case. They go find the water park, which, by the way, Candice mentioned that some fans were upset that there was a water park included in this story because
in Austin, where it actually takes place, there are no water parks in Austin, and it's in New Mexico where it's actually filmed. So some fans picked up on it via Facebook, I read.
So they're not happy because that's not too authentic to Austin. But essentially, they go through, they find out this poor woman, Nana, is being punished by plastic surgery by her horrible husband, who, if he thinks she's too fat, he takes the keys away and makes her walk.
That's so mean. It's like 100 degrees in Texas.
Yes, and humid.
Like, I would leave. Like, we would have been divorced.
So this is one of those major themes that we're seeing through the show is control.
Yeah.
You know, having someone that's controlling you, controlling your voice, abusing you, not having the ability or not feeling like you can leave. And so Nan has felt stuck with this man, and then she finally snaps. And what is it that makes her snap?
He threw away her Girl Scout cookies. That was like, but no. But let's back up, because the funniest part is when Molly goes, I know it was the little thing, like just the smallest thing. And when she's like reminiscing about the damn Girl Scout cookies, I'm like, you gotta be. I thought of Snapped immediately. Like,
Snapped, I know.
Like,
Snapped is a show that I think is running on Lifetime. It's a reality-based show where they do reenactments of women that literally snapped and killed their husbands. And I was turned on to this by Kelly Ripa, who says that she's not, my best friend Kelly Ripa. She told me from the TV on her morning show that she loves watching it, and she also does it to scare her husband.
Me too. I love that. I mean, I'm not married, but you know, when I do get married,
you'll watch it just to scare them.
No, I'll make my husband watch it with me.
You just, every time you get in bed, you turn it on, and you're like, oh, it's my favorite show.
Right?
Their eyes get all big. Why, honey?
Best keep them in check.
But think about it. It's like when you're already at the edge, and all you want is your favorite thing.
Right?
All you want is that one thing.
Like he took the last wing.
Yeah.
Or the last French fry.
The last
and I
Thin Mint.
Ticked.
Yeah. And apparently what we find out is that this guy had kind of come up out of nowhere that knew everything about her and offered to whack her husband.
Exactly.
All she had to say was yes. She didn't even come up with the plan.
Yeah.
Which is pretty convenient, I guess I would say.
Yeah. It sounds false. Like there's some falsehood there. Like, oh, this guy just came up and all I had to do is get $30,000. Like, really? Is that what they told you to tell? Like, is that what they told you to tell me?
Right.
It's like creepy also. Like, you just know everything about me?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what she said. I didn't do anything until he threw away the Girl Scout cookies, and then I snapped.
That is the most hilarious thing I ever heard in my life.
Great line.
Like, yeah.
Especially for us women watching it, we're just like,
He ate the last Samoa.
Yeah.
And he had to go.
Yes.
Like, seriously.
That would be a great reason. I mean, not for whacking, but just leaving. You just leave the room at least. So I wrote a couple of things down. We were talking about, Molly is she's kind of picking up the scent of this case and figuring out that something's not quite right. And she goes to see Jennifer Jennings, the interior designer.
Yes.
Only after she's visited Maggie Turner, whose old husband mysteriously
died in the river, and he couldn't get his medication in time.
How funny was it when she's like, "Oh, but here's the real thing," to her new husband Andy, the yogi.
He's in a yoga pose.
Super bendy new husband,
right?
Cha-ching.
And young, right? Her old husband was like what? Supposed to be like 80 or something?
30-something plus years older than her.
Exactly.
She wasn't sure because he always lied about his age.
Lies she tells.
So she goes to Jennifer Jennings and she kind of proposes, here's a few husbands that are dead. You have redesigned their houses.
Right.
And what does she say? Best line of the whole show, in my opinion. Maybe they die when they get my bill.
No, I really love that. I was like, ooh.
How she said that without laughing, I don't know.
I know. How do these actors deliver some of these lines?
I think they just have to do it a lot, like multiple takes. Like, all right, like 5 times.
I wouldn't mind it, kind of like we were talking about the telenovela. When I was watching the pilot, I really thought about the wind blowing in my hair and having like a pistol and like...
I know.
I kind of wish there was a little bit more. But this episode, I felt like was juicier.
Yeah, no.
Like at least we got a little more camp.
It was giving me life. The first episode was killing me, and the second episode like brought me back.
So I'm really hoping, because it's only 8 episode order, they're gonna have to jam pack so much in there that we will continue to have this fun.
Yeah, no, this is a blast.
So obviously, every episode is kind of a procedural. So the bad guy, or in this case the bad girl, she sets up our very own Molly Parker with her ex-husband as if she was going to kill him.
Well, she was, I think.
Well, Molly wasn't.
Yeah, no.
But our interior decorator.
But what was her purpose? Was she going to blackmail Molly, or was she going to frame her?
She was going to frame her, I think. I think the idea was that she had linked this whole thing up to set the intent, and then she was essentially going to kill Jake and set up Molly. Molly would go to prison forever.
But you know what? I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
I want to know if you think Jake deserved it. Like, if he deserved to die. Because let's be real about...
She says some men need killing. Does he need killing?
Yeah. So I'm posing that question to both of you.
Fantastic question.
Do you guys think that Jake should have just... I mean, it's so early in the season, but do you think Jake should have really got a bullet between his little head? Beady eyes, as she said. Right between your little beady eyes. What do you guys think?
I don't think this yet in the season. I think he needs to be there a little bit more just to bring, the juice and just kind of, I don't know.
I just think he's a jerk.
I have a prediction based on this, so I'm not going to share it yet. But I think that he's going to show us that he should have been killed, given the chance.
Right?
I think he's much worse than we know.
Yeah. And he's pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Because from the moment, I'm just like, I don't know. So here's my thing. I would never beat my husband the way he beat his wife.
Would you beat your husband?
No, I would never beat my husband. Because this is the thing that I'm pro... I agree with Jake and the fact that he wants to work on his marriage. Because I'm the kind of person like, don't marry me unless it's for life, because I believe in for life. Like through hell and high water, we're gonna work this out. So it's like it's weird because I agree with him there. I want to see that better side, that pro Jake. You can be a better husband, but then he's such a.
But what's his motivation?
Exactly.
Because his motivation doesn't seem.
He just seems like a controlling idiot. Like, no, we're just not gonna get a divorce. And guess what? I'm a senator, and we're here in this courtroom, and I have pull everywhere. So
bingo.
You're stuck with me, baby. And that makes me want to go. You know what I mean? Like right between the beady eyes. Seriously.
And I think Molly's kind of a pendeja, because if for introducing her new boyfriend to the ex, I think that fueled the fire for him to want to be with her more. I think he might have maybe signed it until he met this new hot younger guy, and he's like, no, make your life hell.
Good point. Totally. He's younger, he's hotter. you know, for sure. I would feel the same way.
It's like a power trip. Like you can't, like, you know, like you can't control people.
Well, he's been controlling her for a long time.
Exactly.
He wants to control people. He's a control freak.
Yeah. And I feel like Molly is just like, well, you're never going to have me. Like, I feel like they're just going to play this power trip game. Like, you know, her playing the game is, well, this is my new man. You can't have me. And his control thing is, well, you can't really ever be with him because you're still my wife, you know? Like,
right.
It's the ring around the rosy kind of thing.
It absolutely is. So we see the culmination of the case and how it kind of gets wrapped up. I mean, we don't see anyone necessarily go to jail. We don't see Jennifer Jennings go to jail, but we're going to assume that that goes to court. But I want to bring up some of these complicated relationships that are going on, like, around the case.
Yeah.
So we are already touching on Molly and Dan and Molly and Jake. You're just mentioning it right now. One of the number one things that Dan keeps mentioning, and he said it, I think, in the beginning, he says, I just want to be trusted. I just want to get it. At some point, it would be nice to be trusted.
Yeah.
So you can, obviously Molly has trust issues.
Well, I mean, she's, I don't want to say beaten, battered.
She's a battered woman.
Yeah, she's an abused woman. And obviously, in a lot of these situations, it's like domestic abuse. And it's just like, how do you bounce back from that? You know, like I've never personally experienced that, but shit, I watch a lot of Lifetime. You can only imagine, like, you know, like, how can you trust again when someone that you're supposed to be with for the rest of your life, that you trust unconditionally and marry, tries to control you, beats you? Now that even when it's over, they're trying to control you and beat you. So how can you trust the next person like that? That's really tough. I mean, I think she's doing good to just have a new man in the picture. Sure. You know, like, that's a lot.
I think that at this point, we're really talking about is like psychological warfare, the kind of games that, and this can go from man to woman or woman to man. In this show, we're talking about kind of man on woman domestic violence. Yeah. But it can go any way. But it's just the way that a woman can be broken down. But when I say a woman, it could be a child, a teenager, anyone that's in a situation where they don't feel as strong. They can be so broken down and manipulated that as much as they have 2 feet and 2 legs to stand on and walk away, they're mind controlled.
That's so true. Because you know what was very interesting is when Jake said to Molly, well, you haven't gone to the public yet.
With what you think happened, or what did he say? Something like that?
What you think you know.
With what you think you know, or what you remember happening. The way he said it was very specific as to not take any personal responsibility.
Exactly. And it's like, that was like, you know, like I just initially thought, like, wow, like, in a way she does have a lot of power. Because if she goes to, I'm thinking in real life, if a senator did something like that to his wife, and she would go to CNN and it would be all over, he's done, you know? So what kind of power does he really have over her? Or is she how does she really feel about, you know, the situation?
How does she really feel about him?
Yeah.
Because there must still be love there.
Exactly.
There must be still some warped feelings. I mean, she doesn't want to go to the public because she has to relive it.
Yeah. Or because she doesn't really want to destroy him. And even the fact that she saved his life in the end, like, you know, because, I mean, if she, and I don't want to say like, oh, she just wants to stay in this and be abused, but it's like, if she really, really thought, I hate him so much and I just want him out of my life, right. You know, because she knew automatically once he called her and said, oh, I didn't send you that. She knew that this crazy designer woman was, you know, up to something, and she sped over there. Right. But, you know, if she really wanted to get out of it, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, she could have said, you know what? Kill his ass. Right. And I'm free. And this is over. But then...
And I don't think that's in her nature.
Yeah. And I just don't... I don't think it's so much as far as she doesn't want to take him down. I don't think she wants to relive it.
Yeah. Like for most victims. I mean, I think it's just far too painful. And I'm going to say a little bit of my prediction. I mean, I think the guy's a sociopath. First of all, he's a senator, which means you have to be half sociopath. But also the way that he talks to her, the way that he won't let go of control. Yeah. I mean, he's trying to master her life still. They're not together, but I mean, the way that he handles her in public, everything about him. And then even she just saved his life. He's all bloody, and he's still saying no.
Yeah.
Who the hell is this guy? And what is wrong with him? This, I wrote down sociopath, and then I wrote equals senator.
Wow,
he's got
that's
this
scary
power trip anyways. You
He's
know?
a scary character. Like everything about the beady eyes, and he just looks at her like I'm always gonna win. Like it's that
that to me is really scary.
yeah, ditto.
But now in contrast, we have Molly and Dan. So we have Dan, the sweet guy, that I'm a little bit afraid that she might even play him.
Really?
Not in a mean way, but do you notice that every time he's like, he wants a little more, he wants her to go on the plane, he wants some trust, she goes in for a little bounce to go wow wow.
But in the end, she gives a little. She trusts a little.
But did you see how janky that plane was? I wouldn't want to get on that plane. That's scary.
Me neither. I would never get in a little plane that was like needed fixing.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends for me.
I can see where her character is, and I really hope that it works out for them, and I think they probably will, because that's the way these sort of shows go. But I could also see her wanting the physical affection. I mean, she's a sexual woman. She wants the physical affection of this man. He's hot.
He is.
He's a great match for her, but like emotionally, I don't know if she's ready to be vulnerable to somebody.
I think he's also convenient for her. Like she works these long days, and he's a hot little guy to come home to, but I think she's not like they're mentally over from her ex.
And also, we saw in the pilot that they were kind of trying to get information from each other.
That's what I was thinking in my mind. Like, oh yeah, like it's like, hey, what do you know about such and such and such and case? So he's convenient on a lot of levels.
He's convenient on a lot of levels. So I think it'll be interesting to see in upcoming episodes, like, is this for real? Is this just for fun?
Yeah.
Is this to get info? We'll see.
We'll see.
Now, what is going on with her brother?
I don't think
So
he's
Molly's
cheating.
brother is Billy Parker and his wife Becca Parker. And can I just say hello, Texas? Billy and Becca Parker. That is some name.
That's true.
Well, I mean, so a whole nother issue on trust.
Yeah.
Right? We see the suspicions. We see Becca like being really vulnerable, breaking down, being nervous and scared.
Yeah.
Billy's doesn't have any good excuses, and his sister goes to check on the irrigation system and finds out it's not broken.
And in that situation it's so hard because like her loyalty is split, Like that's her brother, her blood brother versus his wife, which is her sister, but sister-in-law. So, and then to be in that predicament of a woman who has your own trust issues, is going through your own
And keeps
crazy
fighting on behalf of all these other women.
Yeah.
And that's like one side of her.
Yeah.
And then now she's got family.
Yeah.
And are there secrets that she needs to keep now?
Exactly. Like that's just like I just think
what
like,
would you do?
It's grimy what I'm gonna say. I'm so serious. Like I have to ride or die for my brother, But I would call him on his stuff,
right.
And that I applaud her for going and checking. Like, all right, there's nothing wrong with the irrigation system. You're up to something. I need to get you together and make sure that you're gonna do the right thing, or if you're doing the wrong thing, end it right now, But it's like that's tough. That is an awful predicament to be in. And I personally actually have been in that predicament.
Ouch.
For a sibling who wasn't doing the right thing. And it's like, nobody wants to feel that weight of your sibling's marriage, and you know what I mean? But you have, like, my loyalty is of course to my blood first among anything else. But it's just, a pressure. It's just that weight of that's a marriage.
Absolutely.
Not a boyfriend and girlfriend, that's a marriage.
And they have a child, or I guess it's her children, Becca's children.
Is it? I thought it was both of them.
In this episode, she says, it's a pleasure to spend time with my children. But I'm not sure if she said that because she was making a point.
I think she's being a little sarcastic in it.
Candice, what would you do? Do you think?
I would have to talk with my brother and see what's going on. But as a prediction for the show, I don't think he's doing anything like cheating on her, because they would have, like the telenovela, they would have had that steamy sex scene so you could see what's going on. Yeah. But again, I'm not really good with men, but I don't think it's my gut. I don't think he's cheating. But again, I could be wrong. But
so maybe we're gonna see Molly Parker kind of investigating this.
Yeah.
Whether she talks to him. Now, why is she living there?
Yeah.
Why?
Because she broke up with her husband and she's trying to get the divorce.
Gotten a new place yet, though.
Yeah, but Jake offered to, like, he was saying
that's
he
right. He was
emptied
going to
out the
move
loft.
out. And she probably doesn't feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, but he was still at the loft, like where he was about to be killed. So did you really?
Yeah, was he really going to move out?
I know.
That's no
He's
good.
just a character.
He's absolutely a character. So that kind of wraps up our show for the evening.
Yeah.
The one thing I do want to mention is that fans, if you have downloaded this on iTunes, please do us a favor and tell a friend and rate us 5 stars. The reason that you do that, it gives us a lot of credibility here at AfterBuzz TV. We do this on our spare time because we love television and we love Killer Women. And so it tells our bosses that we're doing a great job. If you don't use iTunes and you're using another player or you watch on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, follow on YouTube, and please leave comments. We'd love to read your comments and always answer so that we appreciate your vote of confidence. And now that we're kind of rounding up, I think we can go into our news and gossip. Yes. So I had looked up
AfterBuzz TV News.
Give it to us, girl. What is it?
Okay, so for those of you out there, you can follow me at Miss Oriana Leo, and I'll spell it out later on Twitter. But I did tweet out a couple different articles, and they were really interesting because they talked about, first of all, gossip. Deadline Hollywood pretty much said that this show was going to get canceled immediately.
They didn't see the second episode.
That's what I'm saying. The pilot, okay, there's lots of bad pilots out there, but this pilot, okay, not great. Second episode, I feel like totally redeemed it.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
5 stars.
So I don't know, fans, what's going to happen, but the one thing we can do is to spread the word about the show, make sure everyone's watching it, tweet about it, make sure you tweet our after show, get the word out. We're going to do our best to get special guests on this show and really get the buzz out so that we can see more, because I'm really enjoying it.
Ditto.
Yes.
All right. And then there's another article that I tweeted, and it was a great interview with an executive producer, Hannah Shakespeare, on Examiner.com. And it really takes you just from the genesis of the show, from the Argentinian version all the way through, and explores the female characters and what it's like to do a show like this, because there really isn't one like this on TV.
Especially right now.
Right now. And I don't know if that there really has been one, at least with so many female-based storylines,
Yes.
Characters, and with such just badass violence
Females,
and
right?
sex, on ABC.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
So it's pretty different, and we're gonna keep supporting it. So that's news and gossip. Now we're moving on to predictions.
I love
And
life,
now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Woo! Scary. Okay, Chloe, what are your predictions, either for next episode or the season?
I predict that Jake's gonna get his ass whooped by Billy.
Ooh, the brother.
The brother. See? You didn't think I was gonna
No,
say that.
I didn't. I
See?
love that.
Boom. And I had to, like, off the cuss.
You gotta write that down so that when it happens, you can go boom, booyah,
See?
and get credit for it.
I like the little twisted, mix.
I predict Molly getting to her wits' end and just exposing.
Jake. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I like that
Being a
too.
beater.
That would be a big blow up. I predict pretty much what we were just talking about, that I think something deeper is going on with Billy, that Molly's going to try to get to the bottom of to try to save their marriage. She doesn't seem like as much of a talker with men. She talks to women, but she's not going to talk to her brother about what's going on. She's going to try to figure it out first. Mm-hmm. And I also think that Jake is a sociopath. I think he's insane. And I think that as the season progresses, it's going to be uncovered how crazy he is.
Snaps to that.
Yes.
'Cause I think that is beyond the truth.
Okay, so those are our predictions, and we only have 6 more shows left, so we're going to find out really soon. Now, Chloe, please tell the people where they can find you.
Yes. Hi, I'm Chloe Onyx again. You can find me on Twitter at Chloe Onyx11 or on Instagram at Chloe Onyx.
And you can find me, Candice Buenrostro, on Twitter at Candy, CandiEBuen, and on Instagram also Candy Buen.
And I just love saying Buenrostro for the show because it's so appropriate. And again, my name is Oriana Leo. You can find me on Twitter, Miss Oriana Leo, Instagram, Oriana Leo, Facebook, Oriana Leo official fan page. Please find me and friend me. We love your support. And we tweet out important things like our thoughts, our funnies, articles. So you'll want to follow us. And if you tweet us, we'll tweet you back. So that's it from all of us at AfterBuzz TV and Killer Women. We'll catch you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.